A driver who goes by, at CFIT's 4397, left a message asking if we would do a video on alcohol. Yes, driver, and thank you for your request. Excessive alcohol consumption is a very personal subject for me, because it has deeply affected not only my family, but two very dear friends of mine. Based on a report from the World Health Organization, millions of deaths per year can be attributed to alcohol consumption. Alcohol and/or alcoholic beverages are the most common substance used by people all over the world. Excessive alcohol use can have a negatively impact on anyone drinking it, male or female, and it places a very heavy burden on families, communities, and dear friends alike. Its heavy use can create negative avenues or expose its consumers to mental disorders, violence, injuries, and even unforgivable accidents. Many factors have contributed to the increase in alcohol-related incidents or deaths, such as a higher level of availability, an increase in people experiencing mental health issues, and the challenges that come with accessing and receiving proper health care. Alcohol is a curious and deeply embedded part of human culture, isn't it? For many of us, it marks celebrations, accompanies a quiet meal, or helps us unwind after a long week. It's so commonplace that we often forget it's a powerful chemical with vastly different effects from one person to the next. Why can one person enjoy a glass of wine and feel pleasantly relaxed, while another feels drowsy and out of sorts after just a few sips? The answer lies not in the drink itself, but within the intricate and unique biology of our own bodies. Understanding this variability is not about judgment. It's about empowering ourselves to make informed, healthier choices about what we consume and how it might impact our personal well-being. When you take that first sip of beer, wine, or a spirit, you are starting a rapid journey through your body. Unlike food, alcohol doesn't need much digestion. A small amount, about 20%, is absorbed directly through the stomach lining and enters your bloodstream almost immediately. The remaining 80% moves on to the small intestine, where it is also quickly absorbed. This swift entry into your circulatory system is why you can begin to feel the effects of a drink within minutes. It's a bit like a priority passenger on a train, bypassing all the usual stops and heading straight for its destination, which, in this case, is every organ in your body, including the most important one, your brain. Once in the bloodstream, alcohol travels everywhere that blood goes. Because it's a small, water-soluble molecule, it easily crosses the highly protective blood-brain barrier, a sort of biological security gate designed to keep harmful substances out of our central nervous system. This is where the noticeable effects truly begin. Alcohol is a depressant, which means it slows down the brain's functions. It does this by enhancing the effects of a neurotransmitter called GABA, which is our brain's main off switch, leading to feelings of relaxation and reduced inhibition. At the same time, it suppresses glutamate, an excitatory on switch, further slowing down communication between brain cells and affecting our coordination and judgment. The concentration of alcohol circulating in your blood at any given time is measured as blood alcohol concentration, or BAC. This simple number is what determines how intoxicated you feel and how impaired your functions become. A higher BAC means more alcohol is interfering with your brain's normal operations. However, reaching a certain BAC isn't a simple equation of one drink equals X amount of impairment. The speed at which your BAC rises, the peak it reaches, and how long it stays elevated are all profoundly influenced by a complex interplay of personal factors. This explains the enormous diversity in how we experience alcohol, making it a truly personalized substance. One of the most significant factors influencing alcohol's effects is your biological sex. On average, women tend to have a higher BAC than men after consuming the same amount of alcohol, even when accounting for differences in body weight. There are a few key biological reasons for this. Women generally have less body water than men of a similar size, and because alcohol dissolves in water, it becomes more concentrated in their bloodstream. Furthermore, women typically have lower levels of an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, or ADH, in their stomachs, which is responsible for breaking down alcohol before it even gets absorbed. This means more of the pure alcohol enters their system, leading to a faster and more intense effect. Beyond gender, your body size and composition play a crucial role. A larger person has more blood and body water to dilute the alcohol, resulting in a lower BAC compared to a smaller person who drinks the same amount. It's a simple matter of dilution. But it's not just about weight. Body fat percentage is also important. Alcohol is not easily absorbed into fat tissue, so it remains concentrated in the watery parts of the body, like the blood. This means a person with a higher percentage of body fat will generally have a higher back than a person of the same weight with more muscle mass, as muscle contains more water. Your genetic makeup is another powerful, unseen force at play. Some of us inherit variations in the genes that produce the enzymes responsible for metabolizing alcohol, namely ADH and aldehyde dehydrogenase, or ALDH. For example, millions of people, particularly of East Asian descent, have a less active version of the ALDH enzyme. This causes a buildup of a toxic compound called acetaldehyde when they drink, leading to unpleasant symptoms like facial flushing, nausea, and a rapid heartbeat. This genetic trait, often called Asian flush, serves as a very effective built-in deterrent to heavy drinking. It's a fascinating example of how our DNA can directly shape our relationship with alcohol. Finally, your current state of health and what else you're putting into your body matters immensely. If you are taking certain medications, including some antidepressants, antibiotics, or even over-the-counter painkillers, they can interact with alcohol in dangerous ways, amplifying its effects or causing unforeseen side effects. Underlying health conditions, especially those affecting the liver or kidneys, can impair your body's ability to process and eliminate alcohol. Even your mental state, such as feeling stressed or anxious, can change how you perceive alcohol's effects. This complex web of factors underscores a vital truth. Your body's response to alcohol today might not be the same as it was last year or even last week. While many think of alcohol's effects as temporary or just a hangover, a blackout, or slurred words, the truth is much deadlier than that for some. In extreme cases of long-term alcohol abuse, the brain can completely shut down. Yeah, you heard me right. Your brain can get to a point where it just ceases to function. This is not just intoxication, this is catastrophic brain damage. I personally know of two individuals, two very dear friends, who drink excessively, to the point where we all were sitting in the hospital. The doctor came to us saying the alcohol had essentially turned their brains off. Two good friends, a year apart. They were both declared brain dead, a condition where the brain has permanently lost all function. There is no coming back from that. This isn't a scare tactic story. It's a stark reminder that alcohol is a neurotoxin, and under the right or wrong conditions, it can be deadly. The short-term effects of alcohol on the brain are what most people are familiar with. As alcohol levels rise, it begins to systematically slow down different brain regions, often starting with the prefrontal cortex, the center of our judgment and decision-making. This is why a drink or two can lower inhibitions and make us feel more sociable and less anxious. As consumption continues, the impact spreads. The cerebellum, which controls balance and coordination, becomes impaired, leading to stumbling and slurred speech. If drinking continues, the hippocampus, crucial for memory formation, is affected. This can result in a blackout, where you are unable to recall events that happened while you were intoxicated. These short-term changes are largely reversible, as the body metabolizes the alcohol. However, chronic and heavy alcohol use can lead to profound and sometimes permanent long-term damage to the brain's structure and function. The brain is a remarkably adaptable organ, but it can only take so much. Prolonged exposure to alcohol can cause brain tissue to shrink, particularly in the prefrontal cortex and cerebellum. This physical damage manifests as persistent problems with memory, learning, and motor coordination, even when a person is sober. The delicate network of neurons and the communication pathways between them become less efficient, leading to a decline in cognitive abilities that can impact every aspect of a person's life. Furthermore, long-term drinking can disrupt the brain's delicate chemical balance. The brain attempts to counteract alcohol's constant depressive effects by increasing its on signals, glutamate, and reducing its off signals, GABA. When alcohol is withdrawn, this rewired brain becomes overexcited, leading to withdrawal symptoms like anxiety, tremors, and in severe cases, seizures. This neurochemical dependence is the hallmark of addiction. Moreover, chronic alcohol use can lead to severe nutritional deficiencies, particularly of thiamine, or vitamin B1. A severe thiamine deficiency can cause Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, a devastating brain disorder that results in confusion, vision problems, and severe, permanent memory loss. The relationship between alcohol and mental health is a two-way street. Many people use alcohol to self-medicate for conditions like anxiety or depression, seeking temporary relief from their symptoms. However, because alcohol is a depressant, its long-term use can actually worsen these conditions or even trigger them in individuals who were previously unaffected. It disrupts sleep patterns, interferes with the effectiveness of antidepressant medications, and depletes the very brain chemicals needed for stable mood regulation. This creates a vicious cycle where a person drinks to feel better, only to find their mental health deteriorating, which in turn increases their urge to drink. The impact of alcohol extends far beyond individual biology, especially during pregnancy. When an expectant mother drinks, the alcohol in her bloodstream freely crosses the placenta and reaches the developing fetus. A fetus has no ability to metabolize alcohol, so it is exposed to the same concentration as the mother for a much longer period. This exposure can have catastrophic consequences, leading to a range of lifelong conditions known as fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, or FASD. These disorders can cause physical abnormalities, including distinct facial features and a smaller head size, as well as severe and permanent damage to the brain and central nervous system. There is no known safe amount of alcohol to consume during pregnancy. The most prudent advice is to abstain completely. The risks are not confined to the baby. Alcohol consumption during pregnancy also increases health risks for the mother, including a higher likelihood of miscarriage, stillbirth, and premature delivery. The developing fetus is at its most vulnerable, and the damage caused by alcohol is irreversible, leading to challenges with learning, memory, attention, and social skills that will persist throughout the child's life. It's a stark reminder that the choices made during these 9 months have a profound and lasting impact on another human being. This is why public health messaging around alcohol in pregnancy is so critically important and unequivocal. It is also crucial to acknowledge that social and economic factors can significantly amplify the harms of alcohol for certain communities. Factors like poverty, chronic stress, and lack of access to quality healthcare can make individuals more vulnerable to developing alcohol-related problems. Furthermore, some communities are disproportionately targeted by alcohol advertising, which can normalize heavy drinking and create an environment where it is harder for individuals to make healthy choices. These societal pressures can create cycles of harm that are difficult to break, demonstrating that alcohol-related issues are not just a matter of individual willpower, but are also deeply intertwined with public health and social equity. In the end, the key takeaway is that our bodies are all unique. There is no universal rule for how alcohol will affect you, and the only expert on your body is you, guided by sound scientific knowledge. Understanding the multitude of factors, from your genetics and gender to your current health and the social environment around you, is the first step towards a healthier relationship with alcohol. It's about moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach and towards one of personalized, informed decision-making. As the ancient Greeks wisely put it, the first glass is for health, the second for joy, the third is for sleep, and the fourth for madness. It is a powerful substance, best approached with respect and self-awareness. Once again, thank you, driver, for this request, and as always, stay safe.